I finish it, I intend to talk about it, discuss a little bit about it with us here too. But all well and good, I think we can resume the class. I will, by God's grace, continue in this space. And Madam Kifaya, can you please help us to mute your mic? Let's have you one class. So from past classes, we've discussed the print function. That is a way to display message from our code to the user. And we've also discussed a way to take input from user into the code for some kind of processing. We discussed some mathematical function for mathematical operations, plus, minus, like that. We've also talked about variable names and variable declarations, some rules you need to know to guide yourself. We've talked about it, and we've talked about that. And the class before last one, we discussed strings and strings methods, a way to manipulate strings, and I said it's one of the tools that is required for people going to data analysis from this general Python. And the last class we discussed how to make our code to take decision on its own based on some inputs. That is, when some condition is satisfied, the code will take some decision based on some inputs that will have been provided. And that class ended prematurely, so we couldn't continue as expected. Therefore, so I will do a kind of recap for the class. I'll do a kind of recap, and moving forward, we'll do one kind project, and one assignment will go to us. So we have only 1 hour 15 minutes. We have used 15 minutes to wait for other students. So today we want to learn, like I always like to do. Let me itemize what we want to learn today from in this space. Number one, we want to learn comparison. Someone's mic is disturbing the class. Let me try to figure out who that person. Madam Kifaya, your microphone is disturbing us. Thank you for complying. Now we want to learn comparison operator. We want to learn, is anything wrong with you? Then we want to learn condition statement. Let me call the condition statement. I still can't get why I cannot go to the next line. Statement, maybe because I'm presenting. Then we want to learn ternary operation. Let's learn short circuiting is correct. Also, let us learn chaining. Something is happening. Is it because I'm presenting what? anyway, let me chain comparison and so on. Let me not waste much of our time. You know, before you can make your code to be intelligent to take some decision on its own, you have to compare some things. If the result comes true, some part of your code will be executed. If result comes false, some part of your code will be executed or nothing happens, depending on what you are working on. Depending on what, there is someone that I need to admit in. So depending on what you are working on, okay. So before you can do that, you need to compare between two things. That is where comparison comes in. You need to compare between two things. That is the sun so bright and hot, then I need to go with umbrella. Is the weather cool? I don't need to go with umbrella. You know, you need to compare if the sun is actually hot or cool before you take decision in normal scenario we face. In the computer world too, we have something like that. In the computer world, we have something like that, a way to at least to test some conditions before we take our decision. That's why we need to compare between two things before we can actually take some decision. So let us work with one or two. We have in mathematical conditions, like is this value greater than this, we'll work with something like greater than is this symbol. So this is greater than symbol, greater than, let me comment it, greater than, that is this symbol. We also have less than, that is this symbol. We have greater than or equal to, we have greater than or equal to, which is this. We also have less than or equal to, don't know why I cannot press this thing. We have less than or equal to, forget to put 2 here. This is this symbol. We have equal to, which is this double. Then we have not equal to, which is this one. So when you need to compare between two values, use either of these operators. Then if you want to actually check if a value is greater than the other, you use greater than to know. If you actually want to know if this value is less than this, use less than to confirm. Then if you want to check for greater than or equal to, use this symbol. That is, if like A greater than B or A equal to B, if either of the condition is satisfied, you get through as your result. So let's lay hands on some example. Let's say I have some examples, like let's say, let me avert this problem so that I have thank you. So let's say I want to print if 10 is greater than 15. Everyone knows that 10 is not greater than 15. So the result I'm expecting if I run this particular one is what? Is false. Is false. So we are on app.py like we have discussed in the past classes. So you press Python app.py. Let me find out if there are no code that can run aside this with just one line we just written. So I think there is no one. So I'm expecting false in this interface. Now if I press enter after typing Python app.py blah blah blah, so I'm expecting false to appear, and it should. Oh, there is another one. So false is the results coming from here. Let me see. Oh, you are here. You are here. You are interrupting our class. Let me comment you out. Thank you for complying. So 10 greater than 15 is false because 10 is not greater than 15. So let's say we say print 10 less than 15. We understand that this is true because 10 is actually less than 15. So the result we are expecting from the second one is true. So we are expecting false and true. False on the line, true on the second line. So let's try to run it again. I told you if your cursor is in here, then you press arrow up, you will see the last command you wrote, and you will pressing enter will run it again. So you have false for the first one, true for the second one. Someone is at the door. So like this you understand that if you are comparing between two values, you get results according to the type of comparison you want to do. Let me say let me change this one greater than or equal to 15. We know this one will still return false because 10 is not greater than 15, neither it is equal to 15. Either it is equal to 15. But if you say 10 less than or equal to 15, we understand that 10 is less than 15. But let me change this one to 15 less than or equal to 15. Is 15 less than or equal to 15? Yes, because 15 is not actually less than 15, but 15 is equal to 15. Do we understand? So depending on what you are comparing, you are getting used to how to use comparison operator in a way that you get true or false answer based on the comparison, the conversion operation that happens. So what we are expecting here is still false. What we are expecting here is still true. So let's see if you get the expected result. So we got false, true. Another one, if you go on like that, greater than or equal to is double equal sign. Is double equal sign. Is 15 equal 15. Yes, 15 is equal to 15. Equal this time. If you do one equal, what it means is that whatever that is on the right side will be stored on the right side, and in this case this cannot be called a variable. This is number and this is number too. Sorry, let me increase the font. I believe many people will not be able to see it. They are not just talking yet. I think it's bolder now. Let me see if it can be more. Yes, it's closer to you now. So 15 equal 15 will be true because 15 is actually equal to 15. So let's try to run our code and see what we are going to get as a result. Arrow up, enter, then you get true for the third one. You get true for the third one. And not equal to, what does it mean? Not equal to actually means that Are we checking if the left value is not equal to the right value? Let's change this one to not equal to get true. So is 10 not equal to 15? Yes, and the answer is going to be true. So that means we are expecting true from here, false, true from here, and true from here. Let's see if we are going to get true for the 3. So fine, we got true for the 3. So that is how comparison work. That's how comparison work. So we compare between two values, we compare between two variables. Let's be more tricky, and let me say is 15 equal 15. We have two 15 here. One is in quotes, the other one is not in quotes. The response I'm expecting here is different from the one I got here. You know why? This is a value and this is a string. In JavaScript, there is a way to JavaScript do some manipulation, but Python doesn't disturb itself. Python will just check, is string equal to integer? Never. So the answer is going to be false. So the fourth value, true here, we are expecting false to be the last value. So let's check if the required result is correct. So the reason why is that this is string, this is value. There is no way it can compare string with value, which is integer. So that's why we got false from here. So whenever you are comparing, make sure what this one is telling you is that whenever you are comparing between two values, but they are of the same data type, that is the message this last line is passing to you. Whenever you are comparing between two values, it is very incumbent on you to make them of the same data so that the comparison can go error free. Let me admit someone. I think someone is at the door. So having understood this, we can move to conditions. How we check for condition and take decision. How our program check for condition and take decision. Let's say let me write the syntax for you. The syntax to get for condition is this. You say if, better put in brackets your condition. If, like I used to explain in detail, if first, put a space in front like this, then put your condition in bracket. Click on press on open and close bracket. When you press on the open one, the close one will hide itself. So then your condition should be in the bracket. Let me admit someone before I go on this. So our condition now, my condition is that if age is greater than or equal to 18, that's my condition. I want to check if age is greater than or equal to age. In this case is a variable. I'll declare variable age, or I take it from user, So when you finish typing your condition in if syntax, you press colon. Don't mistake it with semicolon. There is difference between semicolon and colon. Everyone knows that. If you put semicolon here, there is problem. So you put colon. When you put colon and press enter like this, notice one thing. There is an indentation. That is, your cursor move in. What it's saying is that I'm under if. Whatever you type here, I'm under if. It is when this condition is true that whatever code you write here will be executed. This is when this condition is true. This condition here, it is when it is true. That is when whatever you type under it will be executed. Let me admit someone, please. Now, let's say if age is greater than or equal to 18, let me say print adults. that is you are adult. Else, no, I'm not going to else now. Let me just say that is whatever what you have in here will be printed. That is, you will see it in the console here, like we have been seeing, when this condition is true. Let me now declare my variable age and assign age equals 19, for example. What we have here is to assign 19, this 19 into this variable. Actually, what we are comparing between these two now is 19 greater than or equal to 18. We know the answer is true because 19 is greater than 18, though 19 is not equal to 18, but 19 is greater than 18, and our condition we are testing for is greater than or equal to. Definitely, when I run this program, I'm expecting adults to be printed on the console. Let's comment out this so that we face what we are working with. So let me run the program again. Let me clear my screen up here. Let me run the program again. Yeah, I'm expecting adult because 19 is greater than 18. Adults, I got adults because 19 is greater than 18. Now, else. Now, there are some cases that you are testing between two conditions. If 19 is greater than, if age is greater than 18 or equal to 18, print adult. If it is not equal to, if it is less than 18, or if it's actually not equal to 18, if it's actually not greater than or equal to 18, that is, it should be less than 18. That's wise. Are you getting it? It should be less than 18. That is, we say not, we print not adult. There is no need. You might say, you might need to, whenever you press enter from here, let me add that. Whenever you press enter, the console will still be under that if you want to write a code that will not run when this condition is true, maybe another condition, you need to click on backspace to return to the if line. That in the indentation matters in Python. It matters a lot. So you cannot toy with it. So let's say else, if you want to write else if in Python, you write if. Like we did to if, you put a space, you put your condition. If age less than 18, make it readable. If age less than 18, put your column, then it also comes under SL if, now telling you that whenever this condition is true, whatever I write here will be printed. Let me say print in not adults. So that means when age is less than 18, it will print not adults. When age is greater than or equal to 18, adults. If age is 1000, if age is anything above 18 is adult. Anything below 18 is not adult. So let's try to run. Let me change this age to 17.9. Let me see if we use 17, a value very close to 18. This one will be this. When this code runs, this one will check is 17 greater than or equal to 18. The answer is false. It will move to the next one in the line. It will move to this one. So it will jump this print adult because this condition is false. It will jump this one to jump print adult because age greater than or equal to 18 is false. It will now look for the next true one. So that is moving to the next condition. The next condition says age less than 18. Is 17 less than 18? The answer is true. Then you will see not adult in this case. Let's try to run it and see what will be our output. So you can see we got not adults. That is 17 is greater than, is less than 18. So that's how to test for condition. But mind you, there is no need for you to still write this last condition. If you are testing between two conditions, there is no need for you to write SA blah blah blah. You understand that if age is not greater than or equal to 18, definitely age is less than 18. That is the last condition we are testing. If you are on the last condition, you can only write else. You can only write else. It's the same thing as what I just erased. It's the same thing as it. So let's test again to see if we are going to see not adult. And see now we'll see not adult. Let me admit someone at the door. So we have not adults now, and our condition is so correct. There are cases that we have else if like 3-4 times before we got to else. By the time you get to the last condition, remember, don't bother to put if. Just go ahead and say else, because it must have checked for all the condition remaining only one. There is no need for typing that last one. Just put else and your code will run very very fine. Before I just twist it a bit, do we have question? If you have question, you can just raise up your hand in the whatever. I will call on your name, then you will ask your question. So I'm waiting for 2 minutes, let's say 1 minute. If there is no question in the next 1 minute, that is by 5:40, we'll continue the class. Let me put it where we are working so that you can take a look and ask question if there is anyone. So it's a quick one, answer you need to understand. Do you? There is a shorter way to coin this kind of condition. There is a shorter way to coin this kind of condition. I mean, something more cleaner and to perform the same function. How? Let me comment out this one to make it. We only have age equal to 18 as a code. The remaining part are comments. So let me say I declare I declare a variable called status. Status equals to adults. Let me say status equal to adults. A better way to write is if else blah 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 new. Status equal to adults if age greater than or equals to 18, else not adults. It is the same thing as what I have written before. The same thing as what I have written before. The point here is that status will be equal to adults. That is, what will be stored in variable status will be adults if age is greater than 18, else not adults will be saved into the status. We can now say print status. You know why it is more cleaner? I only use print statement once. I only use print statement once. So depending on what age is here will be what will determine the string. Is it going to be adult or not adult that will be stored into the status, depending on what age is, that will determine what will be kept in the status. So you agree with me that from what we have before, not adult will be stored in status, and when I print and when I run the code, I'm expecting not adult, because else not adult, this condition can never be true. This condition can never, this type of simpler one can only be used when we only have two conditions. And from experimental point of view, this code will run faster than the first one, and you write less code. You can agree with me that you will write less code using this pattern. Let me run it again and see. I got not adult. The same results we have been getting from the bulky one. So good to go. This is ternary operation. This in Python is what we call ternary operation. So we have shortened it into one line if statement block, and that is fine. There are some cases that you need. We are moving to another point now, which is logical operator. There are some cases that you need to write complex condition. A condition join with another condition to determine what will be your your decision or your code decision. Let me say you are writing an admission checker module. Let me say admission allotee or admission. Admission allotee module. The module that will allot an admission to students. There are some conditions you need to fulfill. You will first of all check if that person is above 16 years according to the new law. I can't remember. I don't follow laws. So, and the number 2, if it actually score above 200, let's peg it at that. Then number 3, if it's medically fit. Those 3 conditions has to be fulfilled. You cannot be writing if age this and if bogus way of writing this kind of code is this. I'm coming. Let's declare those 3 variables. Number 1 is age. Yes, age. We have age already. So number 2, let me move the age down. Let me comment out this line. We have worked with it and I believe we understood it. Let me move age down. I'm moving it. I'm not copy and paste. If you want to know it, you can ask during question time. So let me move age down and say that's the first condition. The admission allotee, allotter or whatever we check for. Number 1 is age. Number 2 is medical _ fitness. True or false? Let me put true now. For now, medical fitness is true. Then score, jump score, jump _ score equals to, let me put any mark, 200. This student will not get admission. You know why? He actually score, the required score is medically fit, but he's an underage. Oh, sorry, let me put 15 here. Is an underage. He or she will not get admission. Let's write a program that will give this individual an admission. Someone is at the door. I thought someone is at the door. No one. Okay, good to continue. These individual candidates will not get admission because the person does not fulfill the 3 conditions required. Let's write a program that will give this person an admission giver or admission Oyibo people. I don't care. So this is how to test for it. You say if age greater than or equal to, don't put space between greater than and equal to, you join them together. So greater than or equal to 16, I can't remember, and and medically fit. Let me use, I like to write pure English, that would, and medically underscore fit. Yes, and medically fit is equal to equal true. And the last one, score, jump score, greater than or equals to 200. Show print for the candidate admitted. Let me say congratulations, you are admitted, or you have been given hospital, you have been given admission. You have been given, congratulations, you have been given admission. Now, sorry, you have been given admission. Now, it is when it fulfills these three conditions. No ojusaju in this case. No computer no dey do ojusaju. If it's going to be, if Nigeria talk about all, but computer will not do ojusaju for anybody. So this is the condition we are testing for. So now, else, like the one we did the other time, else, you bring it down this way, then you say print not admitted, that is co-admission. If what we are learning here are this and the essence of this is that all the condition needs to be fulfilled before the person can get an admission. All the conditions, without compromising anyone, before the person can get an admission. So let's see, let's throw it this way. Not admitted. Why? Because the age is an underage. It fulfills the remaining two conditions, but because he or she is an underage, he cannot get admission. When you are writing anything that is, you are comparing, if this one is true, you don't need to write equal to. I just wrote it to show you, so that question will not come in that line. So you only need to write medically fit alone. It suffices. Writing medically fit alone suffices, so it will just run the same way. Let's test it again. Let me increase the age this time, so that you get congratulations, you are admitted, blah blah blah. So let me, wow, congratulations, you have been given admission. Let me remove my typo. So you understand that this and, how does it work? When you use and to join conditions in Python, in any programming language, every condition must return true before that complex condition as a whole will become true. Every conditions in the chain, they must become true. They must be true before we can get truth. We call it truth in Python. So when this whole condition is truthy, then this one will run. When it is falsy, this one will run as well. So will run as an alternative. And we have learned and. Let's learn or. Let me put a case to you. Like you want to check if, like you want to check if score is equal to 70 or score is equal to, is greater than 70, or let me I'm trying to coin one from my head. I think someone is like, oh, our time will soon finish. I just hope that after this 1 hour, when I come back, what I want us to do simply is to do a project today. Today we just want to do a project. That will be the last thing we're going to do and go. So let me use the remaining 11 minutes to explain the remaining two conditions. I'm not sure. Yes, okay, you should be able to, should be seeing this one. And our case is that if you use all to join conditions like this, when any of the three come true, the remaining are less concerned. You get it? Let me say, I can even change this one to all, even though it is not applicable in real world. It is not applicable in real world. Or I should, let me change this one to all. Let me, in order, because I will sign this file later, let me just duplicate this one. I'm duplicating, I'm not doing copy and paste. So we can discuss that later. So I will comment out this. I will comment out this, and instead of and, I'll put all in between. I'll put all in between. I'm moving this one down to be in your view so that you, yes. With this now, if the students fulfill any of these three conditions, he will get admission. He will get admission. Maybe it's a president candidate or chancellor candidate. You know, once they fulfill any of the three, kó ṣáà tiẹ̀ bóyá ó tiẹ̀ ní bóyá, if it is underage tó so gba score ó ẹ mọ̀ fún admission. If it is medically fit, ṣé kò gba score ni yóò mọ̀ mọ̀wé lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ lẹ́nu ní school. You know, they will shall push the person. This kind of thing can be used for our special people. You know, let me make this one for say false. He's not medically fit, and actually he or she is of age, and he got the score, the right score to get admission. But in this case of him or her, he is not medically fit. If you were to be people like you know, street people that doesn't have anybody, they will not get admission. But in this case, it's from top people that control school affairs. He or she will get an admission. This is the kind of condition. If you fulfill any of these three, you know, if you fulfill two now, you got admission. I will change this to fulfilling one later. So let's run it again and see what will be the result. The result is going to be congratulations, you have gotten admission. Let's run it again. You can see the person still get an admission despite not being medically fit. It's because we have used all to combine the conditions together. If you fulfill any one, this is how the code will run. The code will first of all check. The code will check if it's greater than, age is greater than or equal to 16. Once it says true, and it can find out that you are using all to join the remaining two to the one, it will just, but it will not bother to get, because if the remaining two are false, I will bet it with you the answer is going to be true. The answer is going to be true. So this is the idea. So let me change this score. Instead of 20, let me change it to 20. Yeah, 20. Let me change it to 20. You agree with me that by the time you check this one, it will still pass it and go, because only one needs to be true. Only one needs to be true. Let me test the code again. Bam. You can see the person still gets admission. Bravo. Now if there is no one that is true among the three conditions, what will happen? The answer is going to be false, and when it is false, the person is not going to get any admission. In this case, it is almost 12 years. It's not medically fit because it is 12 years old person. It's called 20 in jump, no admission. So you see, not admitted. So the only time when you are using or to combine, when you are using or to combine condition, the only time it will return false is when all the conditions in the chain are false. And let me, the last one now, which is not equal to not, that is inverse of true. Inverse of true. Are you getting it? Inverse of true. So let's say, let's add cultist as one of the conditions. Cultist, and cultist here is checking if the person is not a is not a cultist, the person will get an admission. How? Let me say is actually not a cultist. Cultist is one of our requirements. You find out if you're a cultist. I know you will not lie, you are from Jerusalem, you are from Saudi Arabia, you cannot lie. So let's say, let's return it back to hand, or we can leave it. So you agree with me that even the school prioritize the case to the extent that if you are not a cultist, just come. We'll make sure we'll manage you, your age, your health, your jam score. We shall make sure you get something out of the school. What is the symbol to check not? You know what we're actually interested in is not a cultist. It's not cultist, but cultist is what we use to collect that information from user. And the person say, cultist, no, false. I'm not a cultist. So you will now need an inference. You now need an operator to check for inference of that to now determine your decision. Let's say, or not, this is not the not symbol, not cultist. Not cultist. So if you can see, I didn't put, if I put not in here, that means it is part of the variable name, but I have to put a bracket and put not outside. Are you getting it? So if the person is of 16 years old, medically fit, he has jam score more than, or it is not a cultist, if it fulfill any of the three. And in this case, the only one it fulfills is that the person is not a cultist. I'm expecting congratulations. Let me see if I can go get congratulations. Hey, my code return an error. Beautiful. What is the cause? Okay. Let me declare this as boolean. It's not a cultist. Equal false. And see if this doesn't work, we can, okay, let me keep this one. It will definitely work with this because it's expecting an expression and this is an expression. And the result of this one should be fine. Let's make this one true. True, see. So there is no way when you are writing code expect to have an error and learn how to fix it. You know, okay, let me use this opportunity to start debugging step with you. Looking at this line now, the one I just shaped out, I just highlighted. This one is telling you something is happening here. You can see a symbol here telling you what you have here is not. Oh, I understand the mistake. Sorry, I'm missing two things together. I'm actually coming from a Node.js project, JavaScript project this afternoon. This just, in fact, then just before, a moment before the class. So I'm mixing those two symbols together. In this case, not is actually not. So what I wanted to test for is not a cultist. So let's run it again. But for the sake of people that are interested in debugging is out of removing bugs from your code. Let's explain this. That means I'm having this thing that is painted red and a pointer is under it, telling you that it is not supposed to be here. Just telling you that it's not supposed to be here is an error in your code. You can see it tells me invalid syntax error. So I've put something that is not supposed to be here. That is why it's telling me that. So let's run it again and get congratulations admitted. So the class will end in few minutes time, but before the class has ended, let me return to home screen, create another one here.